Awesome. So I think let's begin. Just to give a quick context, first of all, today we have three of our GDPI batch students and your seniors and the students who have converted your dream colleges, Akka and EPC, sitting with us. So Raksha is there. Raksha, maybe you can raise your hand so that folks can know you. Yeah. Then we have Akshat Agarwal with us, and then we have Kavya Garg with us. We have three folks from the panelist, and the remaining batch is the CAT batch student, the CAT 2025 batch students. Right, they are preparing with us since December. They are a part of the batch one, and agenda of the session is just to have a very common, open introductions about each other, open Q&A, any questions, any doubts you have. Before opening the forum for Q&A, we have some fixed agenda in our mind where we'll talk about each section's quant, DILR, global. How did these folks prepare any practice material that they do about mocks, analysis, how much did they used to score in mocks, what did they score in the actual exam, how did they do their GDPI preparation, about OMET, about profile building. These are the 7, 8, 9 agendas that we have, which we'll start with, and then we'll take any questions. In between, if you have anything, guys, just unmute yourself and feel free to ask. Right. So maybe I'll invite Raksha, Akshat, and Kavya to quickly introduce yourself, and then let's start with the agenda.
Okay, so I'll start then. So, hi guys, good evening everyone. Very nice to see you all. So, as you all know, my name is Kavya. I'm currently, just about to give my final exams for BCom, and I will be joining IIM Ahmedabad in June. So,
Labs.
uh, so I can answer your questions related to, any questions that freshers might have related to your prep, how the GDPI prep has been, how the interviews were, and any other questions you might feel.
Kavya, what will also help is also add which college did you graduate from, and maybe, if possible,
Sure.
brief about your profile, academics, and everything.
Okay, so I am from Amity University, Mohali, and I know you've all heard bad things about it, but it's relatively good. So I've done, besides that, I've done my CFA and FRM level 1. So, and the thing is, if you start, from what I've observed, if you think too much about your profile, what college have I been, what all things I've done in the past, it takes away your focus from CAT. So what I would suggest is start thinking about your profile after you're done with CAT. Or if you're doing any long-term certifications like CFA, then maybe if you're doing that parallelly, then it's a different thing. But thinking, for example, I know a lot of students have this question that I'm not from an IIT, I'm not from DU, so what should I do? I mean, it didn't matter. So you need to justify yourself. And as long as you can justify why what you did was important for you, it will never come back to bite you in any of your interviews later on. So that's it. I think everybody knows the CAT percentile. Do I need to go into that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, please.
So I got 99.72. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Over to Akshat.
Okay, so hi guys, my name is Akshat. So I graduated from IIT Roorkee in 2023, and I've been working as a software developer in Oracle since the past 2 years. This was my first attempt at CAT. I got an overall percentile of 99.90. My quant percentile was 99.99. I had an almost perfect score, 63 out of 66 marks, and LRDI was 99.97. VARC was my bad choice as always, so I scored a mere 91 percentile there, but it's okay. And I'll be joining IIM Bangalore this June, and yeah, that's about myself. I had good. So as Kavya said, so I went to an IIT. So even I would say like profile doesn't matter that much, because during the interviews, a lot of people used to ask me like, you being an engineer, you went to an IIT, why do you really want to switch to an management career now? I have a good job and everything. So yeah, profile doesn't matter anymore unless you are able to justify it. Okay, so over to Raksha.
Yeah. Hi guys, good to meet you. I was in your foot, I think, some months back. So, as you know, my name is Raksha. I have done my engineering from IIT DAVB, and post that I was working in Deloitte as management consultant. So, if you have any doubts regarding how you can manage your time, preparation time, and work, because my job was very demanding, so maybe I can help you with that. Other than that, I have scored 99.78 percentile in CAT and around 99.6 something in quants. And like the other two panelists said, the profile building, the profile, thinking about your profile, whether you are perfect for CAT or not, should be there after you have done and you have cleared CAT and you have scored very good percentile. And same with the research about college, that oh, this college is very good, I want to join this college. Keep that stuff after you have cleared CAT, not before that, because then it will impact your performance and you might not be able to reach that college which you are imagining. So yeah, happy to answer any of your queries.
Great. Yeah. So I think thank you, panelists, for quickly introducing yourself. Let's quickly jump on to the sections first. Individual section where we talk about how did you guys prepare, any framework you had in mind, how many questions, any material, etc., etc. How did you do in box or sectional test, anything around that, right? So maybe let's start with quant, and I think Raksha and Akshat, you can quickly speak about quant. Yeah.
Okay. So for my, there wasn't any much quant strategy for me. What I basically did was trying single question with different methods. So in mock, you might have tried one method, but while you are analyzing it, try to think about different method which can take little lesser time, or something which you might have missed in the mock hayway. And for the preparation thing, I feel, see, all people say that you have to complete full syllabus of quants. I personally have done just arithmetic, algebra, and geometry. I haven't touched number system or modern maths, and still I was able to score, I think, a decent percentile. So focus on your strength. What are those? You find that, and please practice PYQs, because that's where you see what level it is there, and keep bookmarking the questions in mock test, because it is going to help you a lot. So
a couple of counter questions. So I'm wearing a CAT aspirant's hat right now, right? So just bear with my silly question. How did you figure out how many questions do you have to go and prepare? So was it like you used to watch some coaching videos and then solve questions? And then how did you figure out that, yeah, now it is enough for me, let's move on to the next topic?
I think there is never enough questions you can do for any topic, but when you feel you have completed L1, L2, L3 of that topic, you can feel, okay, this is the level easier than the CAT, level similar to CAT, and level higher than the CAT. And if you have done almost 10, 20 questions of a harder level, and you feel comfortable with that topic, okay, you give me anything and I'll be able to do it. If not, I'll be able to formulate a theory, what I can do from that, and maybe go ahead with that. So that was my theory. And other than that, there are some free tests, like CrackU posts daily test of like five questions. So you can solve that, and you can see, okay, this is the topic where I'm facing major issues. Every time this topic comes and I'm not able to solve it, so focus more on that. So that was basically.
Great. Yeah, thank you. Over to you, Akshat.
So yeah, I'll tell you what way I went through. So my simple tactic was to go from 2000 CAT 2000 to CAT 2024. That's CAT 2023. So there's this website. I'll just put the link in the chat. It's called Online to IIM. It has around, I think it has since 2014. So it's a very good website. It's made by some guy who has achieved 100% like 5-7 times. So, and it also has a timer nowadays. I just checked. So that is one thing that you should really go through. Also, like you can create peer groups. So me and my best friend gave CAT together. He also was a Prepzone student itself. So what we used to do was that every day we used to put 25 questions each. So if out of 25 questions, if I'm not able to do like the last 5. So I used that last 5 as a daily dose for him tomorrow. And that is the first 5 questions that he will do. And in this way, we used to discuss a lot of questions, and that is how we went through the entire thing. trust me, quant is the easiest section you can go in CAT because it's something which is really easy. It's all about practice. It's the more you practice, the more you will get through it. And right now it's just me. So you guys have a lot of time. First of all, just focus on concept building, and speed can be improved in later months like September and October. So, and to be honest, my first quant score was around 24 marks, I guess, and that increased till 63 in the last. So I can tell you, like, it was all practice. I used to do almost 20-25 questions daily, and I used to use online to IIM. I used to use Rodha. If you guys know about Rodha has a YouTube channel. So he posts a lot of good questions there, especially specifically for geometry and modern mathematics. I know these topics are a little tough, but trust me, it's the last. Even if they give you just 2 questions, so sometimes in geometry there's just like you need to apply the formula and get the answer. Same goes for number system as well. There's some simple topics that you need to do, and that will make the change itself. The last 3 questions. So that is how you achieve a perfect score as well. So yeah, that's about it. Just practice and practice in quant, and do as many questions as you can get on the over the internet. It's not just specific to CAT itself. You can take any other competitive exam as well, because almost the syllabus is the same for all of them.
Awesome. Thanks. Let's maybe quickly move on to LRDI and then VARC. Yeah.
Okay, so
same.
LRDI is a yeah.
Can I
Okay.
say something? So,
Yeah.
take somebody who is a little bit numerically challenged. So quants wasn't like the easiest thing for me. So what I would suggest to people who are in the same boat as me, because while you're preparing, because initially it took me a long time to solve 20 questions. It would take me, if I got stuck in one question, it would take me a long time to get over it, move on to the next question, and that really builds up your frustration really fast. So something that really helped me was initially how I timed my study or practice sessions was in number of hours, so that it helped me get off a subject or get off a topic. So my initial goals in the first 3 months was that I have to do, let's say, 2 hours out of quant practice out of like in a week. Every 3 days I have to do 2 hours quant practice, and slowly that built up my stamina where I could also solve those questions faster. And in the later 3 months, so my goal was not in terms of number of hours I'm going to spend, but like, let's say 20 questions I'm going to do. Because if initially I had kept that goal of solving 20 questions in a day, it could have taken me 4 hours or 5 hours to do that. So helping me time myself, okay, that I've practiced this much was enough for me in the initial years. And then maybe you can try and solve 20 questions.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Kavi. I think that would resonate most with the students who are still struggling in their early 2-digit numbers in quant tests. But yeah, thanks for that. Move on to DLR.
So trust me, LRDI is a topic which no one can teach you. It's all about practice and practice and practice again. It's my my best friend was very good at LRDI since the starting. So I used to like talk to him and understand his concepts, but trust me, it never really worked. All that worked for me was like I did all the PYQs from 2014 to 2023, and that is how I started grasping the concepts, like how can we go about the sets and everything. So first of all, try to attempt every topic of set. For example, Venn diagrams, distributions, and family relations and everything, and try to and after that just try to understand like what are your strengths and weaknesses, in which particular section you are really good at, and then try to go for that sets first during the mocks as well. So that is how you will boost your morale, because when you start scoring in a particular section, you start understanding like if I'm good at it, I should be able to make more marks out of it. So that is how you should go in LRDI. Just practice the PYQs and that would be enough. No, none other sets are required, I feel so. I think Kavya and Raksha, do you have any other opinion?
In addition to the PYQs, I feel to practice generally and see if you're getting the concept or not, you can do, or what you can do is I will post the links of some tests which are free, and you can take, it's just like 1-2 tests in a day, 1-2 sets in a day. So it makes your practice, and you make your daily habit of solving. And in the meantime, if you see in 100, even if you're doing 100 days of prep and you're just doing 2 sets a day, you have solved 200 different kind of sets, which makes a huge value in terms of your marks. And while selecting sets, see how many number of unknowns are there in that question. How many times negatively they have represented the data that they have presented, and how it makes it difficult. So whatever set is there, and if you feel the details are very positively presented, very knowingly presented, and you don't have to make out much number of variables or unknowns, then that set might be easy for you. So set selection is very important, because then only you'll be able to manage your time. You can't solve 4 or 5 or 6 sets in the same mock unless you are Akshat, but we all are not. So I think set selection is very, very important, that you will get only from practice.
Yes. Also, the representation on the piece of paper is also very important, like how you make the paper out of it. Because sometimes using the access makes all the difference.
And also, please remember, while in the CAT, you will not be given a big A4 size paper. So keep your representation keeping in mind that in CAT, you will be given a small sheet. So what I used to do is, in mocks, I actually used to prepare same kind of dimension sheet and used to, solve the mock whole in that page that I have made, because it's very helpful. So that you can, get, because if I am making big tables in A4 size and then I see the size of the paper in CAT, I won't be able to solve it.
Interesting. Yeah. But see, I think most of these folks, they are still in the very, very nascent state. So what you're saying, probably that comes once these folks have done the conventional syllabus of arrangements, games and tournaments, routes, network, everything, right? So is there something that probably you or maybe Kavya, you also want to talk about, that how do you start the ILR? Maybe imagine someone who is just starting his or her preparation for the very first time, non-IIT, haven't really exposed to the DLR section. So how do they start with it?
Okay, so I started with the arrangement set. They sounded very interesting to me, and it was like, this is what I want, and this is like very interesting. I can solve this. This one needs to sit between this and that. It was very easy. It was not like I'm studying. It was like I'm just solving some kind of puzzle. So that was what put me into the LRDI spot, and I want to continue this. And also because this resonates with my story a lot, I gave CAT 2023, and the only section which I tanked was DILR, and I scored 70 percentile in it, which majorly affected all of my calls, and I wasn't able to get good college that time. So while I was giving CAT 2024, this thing was in the back of my mind always, that I'm not good in LRDI. What if I tank it this time also? But you need to pull through that. And that's why, some comfortable spot topics, like for me, it was arrangements, or like SAT, Venn diagram, people do it generally. So that kind of topics helped me a lot. And I started with those topics and then moved on to different categories like games and tournaments.
Interesting. Thanks. Kavya?
One thing I would like to suggest here is, when you're really starting your preparation, a lot of times we feel like we're not getting this one particular kind of question. So for me, a lot of times it was the kind of Venn diagrams where I had to include or exclude certain things, and though there was nothing certain, you had to just do hit and trial. I used to hate hit and trial kind of sets in LRDI. And what eventually happened was, I started fearing it, and I did not even try to attempt those in mocks. And I found out later that, okay, this was such an easy set and I could have done that. So don't create those biases in your head before you actually look at a question. Sometimes we feel like this is the topic I'm good at, and this is the topic I'm bad at. So we don't even try to read those questions properly in the mock. And that hurts us, because even if I'm really confident in the topic, the question that came in the mock, or the question that's going to come in the exam, could be easy. So although it's good to go with your strengths while you're in a mock, just still read the question and don't fear any topic. And if you have reached a stage where this one topic really scares you, try and solve like a good amount of questions. Start from really easy ones, build up your stamina in that topic, and then once you reach that state where you're like, okay, if a moderate type of question comes from this set, I am able to solve it. Let go of the hard. You don't have to score a perfect 100 in the cat is not an exam like that. So let go of that hard set and just try and nail the easy and moderate ones. That's what I did. So don't be scared of any one topic.
Yeah. See, one common question that keeps on coming, especially when students start attempting mocks, is that one set, like they get so much into one set that maybe 10 minutes is over, 12 minutes is over, 15 minutes is over, and then there's this sunk cost fallacy that starts kicking in. Ki, yaar, up to I've already spent 15 minutes into it. Should I even go to the next set, or should I just maybe spend 5 more minutes and I'll be able to do it? Any strategy, anything that you guys did extra to overcome this thing?
While starting the DLI section, what I used to do is I used to look at each and every set, just fleeting seconds, see how much info is given, and also go through the questions, because sometimes every time a question is asking if this is the situation, because then I have to solve the whole set again. So, which is not a good point for me at like 40 minutes. How can I do that? So, what I used to do is vet out every single set and then choose which one is the easier for you. Start solving it. You might not be able to solve it, but 5 minutes down the line, do you think you can go ahead? If you might give 2-3 minutes and you will be able to reach to a conclusion, give it. But after reaching 8 to 9 minutes, that was my hard limit. If I'm not reaching any conclusion, I need to immediately go and choose my second choice and start solving, because then you will not be able to score good marks if you're not leaving any set.
Correct. So as Raksha said, you like first analyze the complete LRDI section and try to understand, like, is this set easy? If this is in your comfort zone or not? And if you find one, just try to represent it on the table. And if you're just not getting something out of it, then just move on to the next one after like 8 to 9 minutes. Because after that, trust me, just you are wasting time. You should always move on to the next set. It might be more easier. Because in the first site, just for 30 seconds, everything, even something wrong might look very easy to you.
And also, while I was a beginner, what I used to do is I sometimes used to miss out on the points mentioned in the sets. So what I started doing was write 1, 2, suppose 9 pointers are there in a set. Write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 in your solving paper. And if you have already completed that point, extracted all the information from it, put a tick mark against it. If you have not, cross, keep it empty. If you have extracted a little information from it and still some information is left, small mark will suffice. So this kind of strategy I used in my beginner days, and later on you can always, skip this part.
Also, one more thing. So nobody is going to, you don't have to go step by step, right? While solving an LRDI set. So don't try and get everything out of the set in one go. A lot of time, you can extract a lot of information from your questions. And sometimes you don't even need the entire table to be fulfilled. The questions, for example, if you have to fill 7 rows and the third row is like, even if you don't fill it, it won't matter. Like, so read the questions, try and get all the hints that you can get from the questions as well, and don't try to solve the set, try to solve the questions. That will cut your time short in your mock as well.
Yeah,
correct. So sometimes in Venn diagrams you are required to like get a lot of values. So instead of going around every value, just check like there are 4 questions and I just need these 4 values. Just calculate that instead of calculating the entire Venn diagram itself. That will save you a lot of time. That is correct.
got it. Yeah, thanks. So just to summarize this DLR, which is causing a lot of sleepless nights for majority of the students. One, maybe in paper, you might want to try a strategy where you spend 2-3 minutes browsing all the 5-6 sets. That's one. Second, while you're trying to attempt to solve the question, like trying to solve the set, then probably look at the question also and not just trying to solve all the variables of the set. Maybe go through the question and the variables that are not needed in the question, just maybe skip it and move on. Third is try to have a hard limit in your mind, 8-9 minutes, which is the eventual goal. In beginning, it can be 12, 13, 14 minutes as well if you're just starting, but at least towards the end, you're targeting 99 plus. It has to be at least somewhere less than 10 so that you can go and attempt all the sets in exam. Awesome. With that, let's move on to the VARC section. Maybe let's start with Akshat.
So trust me, I had no strategy during my VRC. So I used to score very bad the entire time in VRC. I had zero hopes for it, but I tried to like just complete 3 RCs and some of the extra things in the verbal ability part. That's it. So my goal was to score at least 25. That's it. So that was my target score, and I used to like I was very slow in VRC. Trust me, people used to like go on the last RC, I'll be on the second itself. So trust me, if you find yourself struggling with VRC, don't try to run away from it. So there was a time between my CAT prep that then at that point of time I used to score very bad in VRC, like 2 marks, 3 marks, 4 marks. But I tried to gather myself up and I decided that I at least need to cross the minimum percentile required. So for someone like me who is struggling a lot in VRC, then I will just say like try to get a target score and try to attempt only that much amount of questions. Don't try to like flunk and all these shit because you will end up getting negative marks only there.
So Akshat, what was your specific strategy to raise from score of 2-3 to say 20-25?
Earlier, what I used to do was when I started, so I used to attend verbal ability first and then I used to do RC. And I realized that this is not going to go fine because I used to spend a lot of time during the verbal ability section itself. So, and a lot of times they are more harder as well as compared to RCs. So I changed my strategy itself completely. What I did was I used to do 3 RC, which looked easy from the first paragraph itself. I used to read the first few lines, and if it's not about some Renaissance or something on the French Revolution or history, geography, and if it's something on tech, technology, science, I used to attempt it RC first because I am of that domain, so I could easily understand that. So, but at the end of the day, there are 4 RCs, so there will be some RC which will be about geography, history. So you have to bear with that, but try to do that in the last itself, because if the first 2 RCs go right, you will have 8 answers already correct. You already achieved your required score, that is 25 marks. And then in the last 5-6 minutes, I used to attempt the VA. I don't used to go in a haste. I just do like 4-5 questions. That's it, and that's how I went about it. And yeah, CAT 2024 got over after that.
Interesting. Yeah. Kavya?
So VRC was something that came naturally to me. So I decided that I'm going to use this to maximize my score. So what I decided to do was I knew I could do it. So what I did was my goal was to make my VARC, in fact, my entire CAT paper attempt very clinical. So I did a lot of trials in my mocks. So I did 2 RCs first and then some order of VA questions, then 2 RCs. I changed my attempt where I'm going to do only 3 RCs and then only these many. So a lot of iterations to try and figure out how I can maximize my score and how I can maximize my accuracy. So at the end, I got to a point where I could get like, at 85-90% accuracy because I made it so clinical. First, I'm going to do this and this and this. And it just came naturally. My brain got wired to it. Next thing, so the RCs that I hated were like psychology and philosophy ones because I'd never read these concepts before. And every time the word self came in an essay, I hated it. So what I tried to do was I tried to read easy articles in that genre first. So I can, at the end of the session, paste some links. I don't have that on me right now, where you can read easy psychology or philosophy essays. So by the end of it, I could do all 4 RCs. I hated paragraph jumbles and I couldn't get that correct no matter how much I practiced. So I decided to just leave it. So I did 4 RCs and I did 6 VA questions. And I was like able to get good marks in that. So what I would suggest is not just for VARC, find whatever your strength is and really try to make it like the best part of your exam. Try to maximize your score in that, and it really pulls your percentile ahead. You get low efforts and you get a high result.
Interesting. Thanks, Kavya, especially coming from a VRC expert out of the
Yeah,
panel you're sitting here.
section, guys. It has the highest number of questions.
Yeah. Okay. Raksha, do you want to add anything?
Mostly, I agree with Kavya, whatever she said, almost the same strategy which I used. So I also pulled, like, VRC was the most low hanging fruit for me. I didn't need to do anything to score much more in it. Used many iterations, like she said, for different strategies. My reading speed is very fast. That is like naturally for me. So what I used to do is I used to complete all the RCs and VA. I tried to complete all the VA as well, but I was very bad in para summaries and it carried negative marking. So it wasn't my cup of tea. So I used to leave para summary. Eventually, I figured out to lessen the burden of reading, I used to do 2 RCs, then VA, which was like a reprieve for me, and then another 2 RCs. So, and I used to read different articles for, especially for the Socrates one. I wasn't able to solve those. Those were like, I don't want to touch those RCs. So specifically for those, I started reading different articles. Aeon and other websites are there, which we can share with you, so that you can build that resilience against those topics. And also one thing I did in VRC was, like I said, in sets, you need to wet out, right? So in 10-20 seconds, I used to wet out the RCs even. Okay, this is from biology, this is from arts, this is from literature, and then pick your favorite topics and start, solving those. So that really helped me a lot.
Okay. Thank you, Raksha. One follow-up question I have is vocabulary also important for someone who has a very, very bad vocabulary and hence he or she is not able to do well in RCs or VA? What would you suggest?
I don't think vocab plays that major of a role, because if you think before that specific word, after that specific word, you can make out the meaning of that sentence. And that sentence might not be that much important for you in the whole RC. Different questions are there that specifically that sentence question might not have been asked. If that is asked, you can always leave that question. One question won't hurt that much. But if you are creating that bias in your mind that, oh, my vocab is not good, my English is not good, I might not be able to score in VRC, then that's wrong.
Okay.
Yeah, even I feel that. I think it's all about critical reasoning and not about vocabulary or knowing the words itself. It's just about getting the meaning out of it from that sentence.
Fantastic. One question to you, Akshat, because you have come from a very low score to at least a decent score, and some of the majority of the students sitting here are in the similar-ish range. So to have high relevance, what do you prefer? Is there anything that you try to do for reading, maybe newspaper or websites like Aeon or something else?
Okay. So I used to read editorial section. Like I used to read 2 editorials daily, and that is how I improved my reading speed. So my reading speed was quite low. So that is how that improved. And I used to read international news a lot, like the last page of the newspaper. So that was something that I really liked, the geopolitics and everything. So that's how it improved to some scale, I would say. Reading books doesn't really improve that. I can certainly say that I tried reading some books and it didn't help. Trust me, editorials and international news, that can help you.
Got it. Fair. Thank you. Let's move on to the next topic, profile building. Raksha, you wanted to cover that. Is there anything that students should be focused about right now to improve their profile? Questions keep on coming. So should I do some certification, internship, blah, blah, right now?
I don't think so. You should do anything, majorly, because it will affect your time, and you might build a very stellar profile. Okay, this will give you 100% placement, but you might not able to pass the CAT exam. Then it does not matter how good of a profile you have. So right now, focus on the task you have on the hand. Study for CAT, and if you have some bit of time left, I think focus that on yourself rather than building profile right now. It won't be of any help, I feel.
Okay. I'm assuming Kavya and Akshat would also have similar opinion.
Correct. So even I feel that right now you guys should focus on CAT itself. Profile building can be done after November itself. there are 3 months, so you can do that at that point of time.
Sure. Great. Then let's move on to the next part, GDPI, where we'll cover two parts. One, should they focus on GDPI right now? Should they start doing anything right now? That's one. Second, what is the right time to start GDPI, and maybe a brief of how did you prep for GDPI? Was it too stressful, etc., etc.? Go on.
So definitely don't start right now. Wait for the results to come out. And it's a good idea to keep tabs of what's happening. It will also help you get into that reading habit, so read those editorials, maybe read whatever's happening. Whatever area of interest you have, read, or industry you belong to, maybe read some pieces about that. But other than that, you should definitely not prepare for it right now. And after you have your percentiles, and what kind of colleges you want to target, prepare it accordingly. I mean, Prepzone was great in trying to give make a schedule and kind of make it structured, because GDPI can be a bit like, okay, I have to know everything in the world, and that's definitely not true. So I think worry about that after you have your scores.
Great.
Correct.
Agreed.
I would agree. So GDPI prep is quite overwhelming, to be honest. So, as Kavya said, start GDPI prep during the mid-December time. So that is when the Prepzone first batch starts itself. So that is when I joined Prepzone, and from December to like second week of Feb, we were like quite prepared. Prashant sir and Shubham sir, they really focus during the time of January and first week of February. So we have a lot of sessions going around that time, and there are a lot of videos and everything available on the portal itself. So yeah, that can be completed at that point of time itself, rather than doing it right now.
Agreed. I don't think you should focus on GDPI right now. Just focus on securing good marks. After you have your CAT result, you can join any coaching. Like I joined Prepzone, which eventually landed me in IIM Calcutta. But there you find similar like-minded people, and then it does not become a burden for you. And you feel, okay, these many people are preparing, you can get news from them, you can discuss on topics, and it makes it very breezier for you rather than preparing now, which will affect both your GDPI prep as well as CAT prep. So yeah.
Great. Thanks. I think we have similar opinion from everyone. Don't worry too much about either profile or GDPI. We'll see it after November, in short. Great. Let's move on to the next question, OMETs, where we talk about SAT, SNAP, and NMAT, and other exams. So how important are they? In case any of you have given any of these exams, maybe you can talk about it. I see no from Kavya, no from Raksha. Akshat, no? Okay, no. Okay. Let's just skip that question. I think these are like purely CAT focused IIM folks, so you can expect similar responses here. But yeah, let's move on to the next question. The most important one, mocks and analysis. We'll talk about which mocks did you give, how many mocks did you give, when did you start taking mocks, how did you analyze mocks, what is the lowest score of your mocks, highest score of your mocks, strategy of taking mocks. Go on.
Okay, so
Okay.
yeah,
Please
Kavya, go ahead. You can go ahead.
For me, I feel like your preparation strategy and your mock taking strategy, they should kind of force each other so that you get the best of it. The way you prepare should help you take better mocks. And after you take your mocks, the way you analyze it should help you prepare better for the exam. So for each different section, you can have a different strategy. So for me in VARC, it wasn't about deciding the sets. I had already made this plan at the end of it that I was going to do all the sets. But initially, as I told you, try different iterations. For LRDI, I tried to figure out 3 sets that I could solve. And for quants, what I did was I did it in 2 rounds. In the first round, I tried to do questions that I already knew how to do, or questions that were like would take relatively less time to solve. And then in the second round, lengthier questions I would have to think about. So, and really spend a lot of time in analysis. I had kept Sundays specifically for mocks, around August, I think. So August and September, October. If you starting in August, maybe try and take a mock every fortnight. So spend a lot of time analyzing what you did wrong and do a lot of good questions on that topic which you consistently find yourself weak in, and also analyze if you're making mistakes, such as are you reaching the end of the mock test, are you trying, do you get panicked when you're not able to solve, let's say, the first LRDI set in 20 minutes. So all these things are also important, and not just questions. What is your mental capacity while the test? So I know this is very early, but when you get your, when you get your slot for the CAT, I gave my CAT actual mock attempt in that slot, so you get prepared for it.
Yeah,
You
how
know,
many
all of
mocks
that.
did you take, Kavya?
Sorry.
How many mocks in total did you take?
I took around 20. So, like, for what I did was I did my PYQs in the form of mocks. So a lot of my mocks were PYQs. Besides that, I think I did around 15 additional mocks.
Got it. Thank you. Akshat.
Okay, so I started my mocks during July last week. So I remember my first mock score, it was around 76 percentile. So it was an open CDC by Career Launcher. Anyone can give it. So yeah, so a lot of times I felt really bad. Like my first mock was really, so I scored like VRC, I think I scored zero only. LRDI was in negative, I guess, because I was doing one set around, that was the hardest set itself. So I read it, I thought it was easy, and it came out to be the hardest set in the entire question paper itself. And quant was around 2024. So from that mock, I realized that CAT is not just about knowing things; it's also about practice and everything. So I stopped giving mocks for a while, and I started focusing on the PYQs itself of LRDI and VARC particularly, because quant was something which I was good at since the starting. So I focused on that, and I started growing. So I think I used to give Saturday I used to give a mock. Sunday I used to analyze it. So analyzing the mock is really important. So whenever you give a mock, like give the next day to analyze the complete things. So in quant specifically, so a lot of times what happens is that you take a you did the question, your answer was right, but your method was too long for for CAT itself. So that is where the answer key works. So it tells you a lot of things that you could have skipped that step. There are shortcuts as well. It's particularly in topics like number system and modern mathematics. So that is how I used to go. LRDI, I used to watch the video solutions. So all these question banks and the mock test. So there is an analysis after that, and you can watch that and get through it, like how the person who is actually solving it is thinking and going about it.
Raksha.
Okay,
Yeah.
yes. So I started giving mocks midweek July, and what I used to do is I used to analyze. I know it is going to sound so lame, but I used to analyze it for almost 7 to 8 hours. All my mocks were analyzed for almost 8 hours. The habit didn't start from the beginning itself, but later on I realized that the focus, the more importance, the more immaculately you analyze your mocks, the more you are going to learn from it. Because giving mocks is just a thing, you are just giving it for 2 hours, then you are okay. But when you are spending 7 to 8 hours with that mock, and what I used to do is I used to analyze each and every single question. So it was almost like I'm giving paper again, but without a time limit. So even for LRDI sets, I used to give, okay, half an hour, 40 minutes. If I'm not able to solve it, then I'll see the video just one step, and then, figure out after that. So that's where, solving from your own self, that habit started building for me. And talking about lowest scores, so I scored somewhere around 50s in my first mock. And then eventually, if I talk about my highest score, so that was around in the range of 130 something. So trust me, where you can analyze mocks, you can learn from it, And you can, devise some strategies. Like for VRC, I said later on, I figured out if I do 2 RCs, VA 2 RCs, that works best for me. For LRDI, you need to vet out the sets and some comfortable topics for me where I can start from. And for quants, like Kavya said, 2 rounds, I used to do 3 rounds of the questions. So first rounds, quick questions, 30-40 seconds, which do not require much of the thing. Like you just apply, just giving sign formula and the result will come. So those kind of questions. Then some 1-2 minutes question, which I've already bookmarked and I feel, okay, these questions I'll solve. And then the L3 category, which usually I wasn't able to reach because of the time constraint, but those questions which will require at least 3 minutes and I have no idea where do I need to start from. So this was my mock strategy. I took around 40 mocks, if I'm not wrong, excluding the CAT PYQs. I majorly gave mocks in this year of my prep, so it was just mocks and analyzing that. And also, try to give mocks with, try to discuss your mocks with one of your friends. So like I used to discuss this with one of my friend who was also a Prepzone student, Rudaksh. He is joining IIM Ahmedabad this year. So what we used to do is, he was very good in some topic, I was very good in some topic. So we used to discuss, okay, this question could have been done by this method. Oh, I missed it. So these kind of, when you have discussions, it becomes easier for you to, get different kind of solutions.
Interesting. I think a lot of feedback, good feedbacks came in for you CAT aspirants. Just to summarize, see, mock analysis is more important, at least 4x more important than just taking the mock. So if you're spending 2 hours taking the mock, do not hesitate in spending 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours as well, right? But the point is you have to analyze it very properly. That's one. Second, it has to be analyzed immediately after taking the test, right? So maybe if you're taking slot-based test, take it in the last day so that the very next day answer keys are out and you can go and analyze that. That's second. Third, try discussing the mocks with at least some partners of yours so that you can debate on your thought process of marking an answer. Fourth, even if you've answered the questions right, look at the time taken per question. If it is greater than 2, go and look at the solution, right? That's about it. Then most of them started their mocks by June, July. So I think you still have 1.5 months. Everyone took around 30-40 mocks, near about 30-40 mocks in total. So that's about it. Rest strategies are very personal. There's no one strategy that will fit in all the shoes. So there's no point of them sharing their strategy, because strategy is something that you'll have to figure out after taking a lot of mocks, that what works for you, whether it's RC, VA, RC, or it's whole RC, whole VA, or whole VA, whole RC, right? That is what you'll have to figure out. One last thing to add, what all mocks did you take? Is it only 1 coaching, 2 coaching, or is it IMS? Typically IMS, CL, CrackUtime, these are like 4 good coaching institutes that give you good mocks. Any point of view which is good from CAT perspective? Should they opt for 1? Should they opt for 2?
I think opting for 2 is better, because then you get different perspective. Some coaching might be good in creating material of some subject, other might be good in some subject. So people generally take IMS because it's such a renowned mock test series, and you almost get the feel of CAT because there are so many aspirants taking it. So I took IMS, and I also took CL because I felt the analyzing part was very much, good in CL. And also I just remembered some points for mock test strategies, which I did was I created an Excel where I kept, tally of my scores. So that way I can see, okay, if I attempt questions more than this, my accuracy rate goes down. So that kind of analysis you can do if you want to. And also, like Shivam sir said, you need to see the time you have taken to solve the questions, but also for the questions that you have skipped, see in how much time you have skipped. If you are taking 40-50 seconds, that's okay. But if you're taking 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, and then you are skipping, then that's a problem. So I think you need to keep these in mind.
Great. Akshat, how many test series? Which one do you recommend?
So I took Career Launcher and Time. So I would say Career Launcher has a very balanced mock in all the 3 sections, if you say. And they have a very detailed analysis page as well. They give you time wasted, and they give you suggestions as well. Like you could have you can reduce the time in this question and improve the accuracy in the other question. So And time, I would say time is a little above CAT. So especially the quant and LRDI section, they are a little above CAT, and they really make you like learn the concept. So time particularly uses a lot of shortcut techniques in the quant section. So I would say go for time for quant and LRDI because they're really good in that. And CL for VRC. So there's a famous course by Gejo, VRC 1000. So yeah, in that particular VRC section, VRC mock test. So they're really nice.
Got it. Kavya?
So for me also it was very similar, but I also took IMS and Career Launcher. But because I did around 15, I mean if more than 20 mocks in the form of PYQs, if you combine all the different sets and all the different years. So I started from around 2017-18. So for me, I could only do half of the mocks that I had purchased, but I tried to focus on analysis, and I gave a lot of sectionals because for me, a lot of times it was about trying to maximize my score in a certain area. So I also gave a lot, because it was easier for me to take time out for sectionals. So I don't have to invest, 4-5 hours including the mocks and everything, including the analysis. So sectionals just made it a lot easier for me. I could do 2-3 sectionals in a week and then try to judge myself. So similar.
Awesome. Thank you. Let's move on to the next question. So folks with workings, how did you manage prep with your job? What was your schedule like? Was it getting up early in the morning or stretching up at night or only relying on weekends?
Okay, so I also had a 5-day work week from office itself. I couldn't get any work from home during this entire time. So I realized that I am a night owl itself. I'm not a morning guy. So what I used to do was I used to go to office at 11 a.m., come back at 5, used to sleep for some time or try to watch some movie and get my mind fresh. And after that, from 8 to 12, I used to study. And after that, take some break and try to do a sectional in the night itself. So that is how it worked for me. I used to stretch in the night. And fortunately, I got slot 3 in CAT 2024. So yeah, that held in my favor. So I wasn't sleepy during my slot itself. So yeah, but yeah, whenever the slot announces for the CAT itself, you should try giving mock during that time only so that you are hyperactive during that hour. Your biological clock gets set during that time that you need to think right now.
Okay, so I hope I was as lucky as Akshat was because I am also a night owl, but I got slot 1. So basically, my situation wasn't very well. So my job was very demanding. I used to start work from 10 a.m. and went on till 8 p.m. in the night. So it was like this much stretch of work hour and I couldn't fit anything in between. So what I used to do is night was the only option for me. So I made a daily habit of solving some daily tests. Like I said, some free tests from CrackU, and there are some daily doses from CL, as well as there's this website called Anesthesia Shankar. So they also post some tests. So what I used to do is, this was my daily habit. I need to solve that. And if you see in hindsight, I have already solved 8 sets of LRDI, around 12 to 14 sets of RCs, and almost 40-50 questions of quants. And it does not feel that much because I'm just giving a test, So that kind of, I think, helped. And also, whenever something bad happened at my workplace, I used to, put that in mind. Okay, this is the reason why you want to focus on CAT and move away. Okay, just move away from it. So that's how it worked out. And in between, if you get, lunch, my free time and everything in work, start reading something. I used to pull up Guardian or, Aeon and just reading some stuff. And that way, your manager also won't get to know that you're preparing for CAT. So I think that was it for me.
Yeah. Daily dose is a great feature from Career Launcher.
Right.
So they give you 2 sections on a daily basis, VRC, DILR, or quant. So 5 questions each, and that helps you get into that mode of studying. So yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thanks, Akshat, and thanks, Raksha, for the suggestion. Let's move on to the next part, which is prep material. What all prep materials do you use, which anyone can go and check out? Any public material, any books that you refer to beyond box? So I see some of the channels are shared, but beyond the channels, is there any book or material to solve questions that you referred?
I did not any book or so whatever. I thought Prepzone is also providing you with some material. In fact, a mistake I see a lot of CAT aspirants make is they gather a lot of material and you are not going to solve all of it. Trust me, if you can do all the PYQs and all the material that all the mocks, you're analyzing all of that mocks, that is enough. So don't gather so much stuff from the internet. I know there are a lot of Telegram groups that can give you material. Don't bind that.
Right. Put your focus on just one material. Just put your trust on it, and I think you have been being provided by Prepzone, so it is going to be a good material. Trust me. So what all I did, I mentioned some tests. That was something which I did apart from my studies. So just focus on the material you have on hand, and just don't go wandering around asking friends for you are studying in IMS. Give me this PDF. It won't work out. Almost everyone is giving you the same guidance. Just follow one and put all your trust in it.
Correct. Even I only followed only like 2 test series, time and CL. That's it. So don't jump into too many test series. You'll get confused a lot of times. And the material provided by Prepzone is more than enough for it.
Awesome.
Apart from that, I've seen the channels and all that I've used during my prep time. So Rhoda for Quant and LRDI, VARC was Bhagwan Bharose for me. So I can't recommend something on that.
Sure. Yeah, I think that nearly answers all the questions. The last one, let's quickly touch upon the importance of peer group.
Peer group is the most important thing, trust me. So I do everything to my CAT journey to my friend, because if he would have not given CAT with me, I wouldn't have cleared CAT this year itself. So try making a lot of friends during this prep time, because you discuss a lot of things with them. You try to understand that this was difficult for all of us. So and you come up with new solutions and everything. So yeah, peer group is the most important thing.
Agreed with Akshat, because you need to have some peer with you. Like I mentioned, my buddy Rudransh, sometimes I used to inspire him, sometimes he used to inspire me. Sometimes, we used to collectively rant about similar topics. Okay, games and tournaments, we are not able to solve it. You need that human connection. So to, get ahead of your studies, and just don't, wander just in studies. Okay, the cat. You need to have some friends with you who can, keep you fresh and inspire you and help you in some kind of way. So definitely have a study mate who is serious, not,
And stay away from people who will demotivate you. And having a peer group also makes you accountable. So if, let's say, you decided to take like 1 day off, 2 days off, and then it helps you get back into the groove on the 3rd day.
Great, yeah. Hence, I think you all are the peers for each other. By the way, they all have an informal prep group channel within themselves, and they all keep on pushing themselves. But point is, continue doing that, right? And have targets for each other. Keep on benchmarking your performance against others and use it as a positive reinforcement for your prep. I think that nearly covers the agenda we had. We'll open the forum for any questions, answers you may have, anything you may want to ask these folks. Trust me, they'll be super busy after a month from now, and it's very hard to catch hold of them again. So use this opportunity to ask anything that is there in your mind.
Hi everyone. I'd like to just ask a small question. So my VARC is not doing that well. Like I gave one mock, and the combined scores of VARC and DIL are it's not even 1/4 of what I got in quants. So just to ask one more thing, like should I start giving mocks or not from right now?
Probably
I would say try giving sectionals. So sectionals help you build your score. So because a lot of times you get too lazy to give a complete mock itself, like 3 sections, 2 hours in one setting. So try giving sectionals in this case. So that will help you improve your score, and try doing PYQs during this time. don't use time limit first. Like you can use your timer in the later half of your CAT preparation. But yeah, try giving these only if you're struggling with the initial score itself.
Okay.
Okay. Next.
Yeah, hi. Hi everyone. I do have a question. So, CAT is just like around 7 to 8 months away, but sometimes I do feel like there is lack of consistency. Like I am not able to sit and study for around, 4 or 5 hours. So, how do I maintain that consistency for long term?
I think it's very natural. But are you working, Pavitra, or are you a student?
Yeah, currently I'm working.
Yeah, so I think, maybe these guys can help you with that better, but I don't think um, I was consistent in the sense that I was able to sit for 5 hours daily. I mean, for me, in the initial 3 4 months, I needed that one day off where I'm not thinking about cat. So from August or end of July was when I was like, okay, every day I have to do some questions at least so that my brain doesn't switch off or doesn't sleep. But it's very difficult to even have that expectation that every day I'm going to do 5 hours. Keep a weekly goal. That helped me a lot. For me, a weekly goal was like I have to do these many questions, these many LRDI sets, these many RCs, and maybe if one day you're able to only give 1 hour, then maybe try and cover that up in the next day or in the divide it in a week. So don't make daily goals so strict. It will only add to your anxiety.
Agreed. I think one thing we need to remember, which I didn't remember during my CAT prep, is we need to be very kind with ourselves. It is going to be tough, specifically for the work ex folks. It's going to get tough, but that's where you need to be kinder with yourself. And Pavitra, one thing I can say to you is instead of thinking of just 4 5 hours sitting and all, you can think for 2 hours because that's what you need for CAT, 2 hours sitting. So just make small goals, right? You need to sit for 2 hours and study, and then you can just wander around anywhere, waste your 1 hour, think about different things. Don't focus just on CAT. Keep some days for yourself, go out, meet friends, watch movies. Cat won't, it will make you resent CAT rather than, just making this process a bit easier for you. So make small goals is what I will say.
Yes. And just to add, Pavitra, maybe you don't need to sit for 5 6 hours in a single go. You can divide it into morning slots, evening slots, late night slots, right? But I agree, and I do +1 to what Raksha said. Have 2 hours ka slot minimum, and then maybe take break for 30 minutes. Go out, do whatever you want to do. Come back, sit again, right? For maybe 1 hour, 1.5 hours. Then, call it a day. Get up in the morning, get a 2 hour slot in the morning. So that's how at least in a day you'll be able to get 5 6 hours kind of a time for CAT, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure.
Hi, I have a question. So it so happens that there are few events of the family which is coming, and 3 4 days you won't be able to give time to proper time of what you were actually doing. So during that 3 4 days, what is the basic thing we have to keep in mind to at least keep solving? So just to keep in touch with whatever we are doing, we can't sit and take up a new topic or anything like that. So what is the basic topics we have to cover during the days which we cannot do it or we are busy?
Okay, so I had CL, so they used to give daily dose. So when I used to be like really busy with all this, it's like something like family gathering, I used to do those daily dose and during that time, like 3 4 days, and that used to help me like 5 5 10 10 questions of each, but picked up randomly. That's how I went through these days.
Yep.
Okay.
So just to summarize what Akshat said, Rutu, it need not be from particular topics or modules or chapters. It can be just random question. DLR and VRC, any which ways, doesn't have any syllabus, right? And quant, if you have done arithmetic algebra, you have done 80% of quant. So any daily dose kind of a thing, or a sectional test, or maybe some mixed test of 1 hour, 1.5 hour, based on how much time you have in hand is enough. But try to solve at least some random question, minimum 10 questions of quant, 2 passages of DLR, 1 or 2 RCs. When if you set those mini targets for yourself, that will also do.
Yes, sir. And this question always had in my mind, but since all we are here, I wanted to ask. So before the CAT exam, there are few people who take like 1 month leave or 1.5 months leave and try to prepare. Is that necessary, or is that the game? How is it? How did you all do it?
I don't.
I took a sabbatical during my last month of November. First month, first November, 24th November, I was on complete leave. So that was like, I didn't want to get any stress from my work environment or from some any other sources. That is why I just took it off, because my work was really getting toxic during that period of time. And I just wanted to give my 100% to this exam. It's not really necessary if your work is light and it's a healthy environment in your workspace. But for my particular case, it went quite bad. So that is why I took a month off during November.
I took a 2 week leave before that, and I will say, just don't think about leave, because there might be a situation where your leaves might not get approved. I don't know how your managers are, but don't keep that in mind from now, because then your leaves might not get approved and you might think, okay, my cat might get affected because of this. So don't think about that right now. You can definitely take a week or 2 week leave, to settle down and keep your timetable on your pace rather than having issues from work. But I don't think it's that mandatory to, which can affect much of your performance in CAT, because you are going to study for 5-6 months. That is you are going to take with yourself, not just 1 month or 2 weeks before CAT preparation.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
I think Akshat, since you at the start of your preparation, you used to score very low marks in VRC. So from where did you prepare for VRC? Like what materials you used?
So I had VRC 1000 by Gezo. So my friend took it, so I used to watch videos of that. You can find it easily over the internet. There are a lot of torrent websites which have it. So yeah, that's how you can go for it.
So like you used to practice it from VRC 1000, or like you just used to watch the videos from there?
So VRC 1000 has questions itself. So after like 4 videos, I guess, there is a question paper specifically designed for the particular section, and you can like practice that.
Okay.
Hi everyone. I wanted to ask regarding LRDI, because out of all the 3 subjects, I think this is one thing where I lack direction. Like I lack the confidence that if I'll be actually able to face the CAT questions, because when we practice it, like I'm able to solve the questions and I'm able to gain confidence. But when you open up the PYQs and you just start attempting it, like I'll literally go blank on CAT LRDI sets. So if you can recommend any resource which has CAT equivalent sets, or if you face the same thing.
So I definitely faced this while I was preparing. But I would say just do a lot of questions from one particular area, and then what you can do is search for specific questions related to that in PYQs. Don't directly jump to PYQs like that. So for example, once you're done with Venn diagrams, say you've done 10 sets on it, search for PYQs on Venn diagrams and then try to do that. Because if you look at PYQs, they're obviously random and jumbled, and a lot of the times in CAT, you will not have a question that requires knowledge of just one particular area. They are usually mixed. So something else you might need. You might need, let's say, some arithmetic or something else. So solve questions from one area, then find PYQs of that area, and slowly build your confidence. Once you know that I can do PYQs from this area, it will give you the confidence to move to the next topic, and eventually then you will be able to do the complete mock test or complete a complete paper where you don't have to know which topic this is from. You won't know what is the difficulty level, and then you can go solve blind questions.
Okay, got it. Thanks, Kavya.
Welcome.
Okay, I think we are off time. Thank you so much once again, Kavya, Raksha, and Akshat. And I'm sure students found this session extremely helpful, especially listening from someone who has just done it makes a lot of credible impact versus mentors who have passed out 10 years ago. So thank you once again for sparing time for this. And yeah, all the best to all of you. I think, yeah, you will do great and stay in touch. Thank you.
Sir, before you conclude the session, I want to ask that what mistakes were made during the CAT preparation journey so that we cannot do the same thing.
Okay. Let's maybe end on this note. One thing, Kavya, that if you have to go back and change in your CAT prep journey, what is that one thing that you would go and change? Probably some mistake you have done.
I think I already mentioned this. Just being scared of one topic and completely leaving it in the mocks. I realized this much later, towards the end of October. And once I got past it, I was, I wasn't carrying any kind of bias in the mock, so I was able to improve my scores.
Thank you. Akshat?
For me, it would be like to improve my reading habit. So I used to be lazy reading the newspaper or any other material over the internet. So that is one thing that I really regret. So if I would have improved my reading habit, I would have scored more in VARC. So yeah, and please do not be scared of VARC. It is a moderately hard section, but yeah, you can do it. Trust me.
Great. Raksha?
I think I mentioned this before also. One thing if I would have changed, that would be being kind with myself. Sometimes mock scores used to take a toll on me. Okay, I'm scoring this bad. How am I going to score good in CAT? So, you have to understand that there are bad days with even stellar students. So just accept that and move away from it. And also, keeping bias towards subjects. Like I kept a bias in LRDI that I tanked it in one of the CAT 2023. I'll do it in CAT 2024 as well. So that took time for me, to move on from that. But remember, everything you can start from a new anytime. So I think this would be it.
Great. I think thank you once again. Isha, I hope that gives you a perspective on what mistakes to not make in your prep journey.
Yes, sir. Thank you, all of you.
Okay. I think time to conclude the session. Thank you once again. And yeah, all the best.
Thank you. All the best, everyone.
Thank you. All the best.
I hope you guys are giving, this mentorship lecture to your juniors next year.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Yes, Kavya, we'll do it. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, everyone.